Guys, we've got to talk. What are we doing? What is happening? Why is Xbox laying off, I believe, 9,000 employees? I got my list right here. You're gonna see me looking a little to the left to make sure I get all the information right. But dude, what, like, why? How in this world? It's like Xbox does this thing where they're like, we've got all of these great games coming. They're coming. They'll be here. Don't you worry. Oh, we're working on the next gaming console. You want PlayStation games on Xbox? You're gonna get it. Everything's great. We love it. It's a good time to be an Xbox, and even I'm for it. I'm like, oh my god, it's a great time to be an Xbox player. My loyalties have paid off. I'm gonna be able to play all the things I want more on the Xbox, which is essentially just a PC box now, you know? And suddenly they're like, yeah, but when you do that, when you're gonna play these games and experience all these great things, you're gonna feel bad. You're gonna feel real bad. You're gonna, because you know why? 9,000 people just lost their job. How do you even have that many employees? How does that work? And I get it. It's because Xbox and Microsoft, they buy all these companies and there's these subsidiaries and they have 50 different companies but why buy them then? I get, and I understand it's to like cover the upfront cost of spending that money to buy those games or to buy those studios. But these are people's lives we're talking about, man. Imagine you wake up one day and your work is just like, hey, you know that game you're working on, you know you're right there, you know, we're gonna have to stop all that. No, actually I packed your office for you. No, actually you went to use your card to get into the front door this morning and it didn't let you in. You had to get that one guy who stayed up late, didn't leave the office to let you in, only to realize that guy was the one packing your boxes. He's packing your office and he said, you know, you don't even have to come into the office. I'm just gonna have your box right at that front door right when you come in. And it's like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing in a society and a hobby that 9,000 people can just lose their job like that? There was no upfront information. There was nothing about it. What, like really think about that, man. It makes me so frustrated. And you have all these like big shows and gaming showcases and everything where Phil Spencer is like, it's never been more of a great time to be a fan of Xbox. Xbox exclusive. It's never been more of a great time to get purchased by us. We just spent $51 trillion purchasing, I don't know, everything. And then we're gonna fire them all. There's so much talent that gets lost. That just disappears into the ether because these people aren't gonna immediately get another job in gaming. They're gonna have to get a job to survive. It isn't like that. They're gonna have to say, oh crap, I gotta go work down the road at the coffee shop I really like because I just need to make a paycheck to get by. In this economy? In this economy? Be so for real, man. Be so for real. Anyways, so guys, if you haven't figured it out yet, we're talking about Xbox. Breaking news has announced that they have laid off over 9,000 employees. Some of that being they laid off Rare devs who were creating the game Everwild, which, I mean, we didn't see anything of that game in a while, so I didn't anticipate that, you know, it wasn't even on my radar anymore, but it was looking like an interesting game from the conceptual trailer we've had. And then also they canceled the Perfect Dark spinoff or sequel that they were working on, which everyone who saw that trailer really liked it, but I urge you guys to, you know, keep in the mindset that nothing you see is real until it's like in your hands, or at least you see like actual gameplay and things like that, because the Perfect Dark trailer was like super fake when you saw it. Like you could just tell there's no, my thing is how contextual is things. If things are like overly contextual in a game, then you're like, no, that's not real. My hand isn't gonna smack this guard's like you can only put in so many inputs at once into a video game. It's like people who watch The Witcher 4 um like fidelity, like performance trailer, and was like, oh my god, that's how The Witcher 4 is gonna be. Do you know the track record CD Projekt has with the releasing games? You think that's gonna be how the ability that game's gonna have? Not quite. CD Projekt Red is like 0-4 with game releases and like how many issues they have on launch. Don't expect much from them. But people see those things and think it's real, you know, or see all these gaming thing. And so Perfect Dark was never real and probably was just getting in this pre-production phase with that conceptual trailer. And it's to give developers sort of an idea of like, this is what we want it to be like. How do we get it there? So that happened. Call of Duty Raven Software Sledgehammer Games layoffs, which is interesting. What does that mean? Does that mean Call of Duty didn't perform to the like what they thought? I thought, all things considered, Call of Duty was doing pretty good. Was it not? Like, I thought people were still consistently buying those games and playing those games and purchasing the monetization and cosmetics. So Turn 10 Studios hit with layoffs. Those guys sound familiar. Let me Google this real quick. Turn 10 Studios, let's see, what did they make? Creators of the Forza franchise. Okay, I didn't know that, honestly. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't played too much Forza lately. Forza Horizon is sort of a game that feels like an empty shell, but it's really pretty and it's a really good playground, but it feels like there's always nothing to do in those games. And I'm not justifying 9,000 9,000 layoffs. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying, like, this is where the cuts have happened. And the Perfect Dark canceled and the initiative shut down, which is the game studio dedicated to developing Perfect Dark. So, and then Phil Spencer, our cuck and savior, decided that he was gonna say they're gonna release an announcement to justify these layoffs, and it's just word salad, man. It's just word salad. So what does it say? To position gaming for enduring success and allow us to focus on strategic growth areas, we will end/decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. Phil Spencer today. Like, dude, what are we doing? What are we doing? These developers that are getting fired haven't shipped anything less than great games. Like, there's resounding success, and it's like, oh, but we want you to invest in our handheld console and our next console, and we're player first. And it's like, yeah, but like, you're firing people who make games. That's 9,000 people who got fired. I didn't even think you could possibly have that many employees, but here we are. They're getting fired, and this is their reality. And it's just like, so like Destin Legary posted, he said, my thoughts go out to the $1 trillion company with a stock at all-time high. Here's hoping how they can figure out how to make money if they had the Steam store and Xbox. Like, what is this? And I have a theory. That during COVID, gaming had sort of this boom. During COVID, everyone was playing video games. And so what you had these conglomerates and these stockholders and all these things looking at it, more people need to work for us. More people. We need all hands on deck. The COVID is here to stay, baby. And suddenly life is back to normal and people are playing games less and more. And you know what? The games have gotten more expensive and less people are playing games because of it. It's an expensive hobby now. It's not cheap. An Xbox Series S and X just got more expensive because of the current economy. Like, this isn't some cheap hobby anymore where you can go and get a Nintendo DS for $150 and play Super Mario 64 on it. It's just not this kind of hobby anymore. Like, it takes a lot to even just go buy a Switch 2. And so, like, the firing of the people, it's like, what's the... like, I'm looking at the Metacritic scores right now of Forza. 86 for Motorsport 7, 87 for Motorsport 6, 90, like 80 above across the board, man. And it's just like, come on, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? And I'm just frustrated. I'm really hurt. It feels sad. I hate having to talk about this because this shouldn't be our reality, man. And I'm just thinking of people with their families, and things like that. And it's like, what if I woke up one day and the office I work at was just closed and they don't tell me anything, I'm just fired? That's not okay. That's not okay. And I don't want anything in the comments like, oh my god, Sony's good for this, I'm not talking about the console war. I'm talking about human lives being affected by this. And that's not okay. We need to seriously consider like what we're supporting when these type of things happen. I play Xbox right now, and I'm like, damn, this shit was made with blood at this point. There's been over 50,000 layoffs just this year in gaming. What are we doing? Support indie games, support these people who are going to find these jobs, help them find these jobs by using social media. They're all over. It's not just in like one area. It just sucks. And I hope all these people find work, but the odds of all 9,000 people finding work in the same field they were in and working in is slim. Like, you know, let's be realistic here. These people are gonna have to settle in for something different, and maybe some will make studios and make indie games and develop things on their own. But man, it's not right. And that's why I wanted to talk about this today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's talk about it in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback and your discussion. I appreciate you. And here's hoping that the next rant is some good news. Bye.